You've probably seen this before from either Russell Brunson's .com Secrets or some marketing guru has some version of this, right? Where everyone tells you want to start with low ticket and then you want to send people into high ticket programs. The problem is this doesn't work for a lot of creators. And a lot of people waste a lot of time and money trying to make this work when they shouldn't be doing this at all. And it really comes down to this battle between like low ticket versus high ticket offers and which one is actually better for you depending on what type of business you're running and where you're at with your business. And so what I want to do is actually just break down low ticket offers, high ticket offers, what are the differences between the two, when should you consider using them, and how should you get these rolled out. Over the years with my clients, we've generated millions of dollars using both of these types of funnels. And so what I want to break down for you here is what each of these types of offers are, the pros and cons to each one, and then how do you figure out which one is right for you depending on where you're at in your business, which is the most important part. If you do the right one at the wrong time, you can lose a lot of money, but if you do the right one at the right time, you can make a lot of money. So let's just get into it. And let's start with low ticket offers, because low ticket offers are all the rage right now. Everyone is telling you that you should be running a low ticket offer. And the idea with a low ticket offer is you bring someone in at a low ticket price. So you sell them something that costs $3, $7, $47, $67, $97, whatever that is, usually something below $100. But you want to get them to come in as a customer. And then what you do over time is you ascend them through other products. So then you could sell them something a little bit more expensive. So then you get them into continuity. Then you could sell them something really high ticket, like $3,000 or $10,000 or $25,000, with the goal being to maximize that lifetime value of that customer over time. Now, this is not anything new. This has been around since the dawn of advertising. Way back in the 1800s, people ran newspaper ads selling people super cheap little products. And that was how they got people's contact information. And then they would stay in touch with them and sell them all kinds of stuff over the years. So this isn't a new thing. This is just a thing that's been around for forever, adapted to the internet. And if everything goes right, there are a ton of pros to doing a low ticket product, right? First thing is first, you're building a list of customers, right? These aren't freebie seekers. These are people who have actually pulled out their wallet. They want to buy something from you. In theory, people who are already your customers are going to be better high ticket customers. So if they've already bought something from you and they actually like what they got and then they ascended into another thing, they're probably going to be a better customer there. And people who have already bought something you should be easier to convert into high ticket offers. Now, here's a problem that I've seen for a lot of founders when they try to go down this path. The first thing is there's just a lot of moving pieces that can go wrong. So if you have a low ticket product, that means you need to have a funnel to sell that low ticket product. So you need to have a sales page that you have to optimize. Also, low ticket products run on the fact that you've got order bumps and upsells. If you're not totally sure about that, I've got a video, I think in this corner up here, one of these where I can break the whole process for you down. But you have to have some type of order bump and upsells, which means you've got other products. Then you have to optimize the journey from a low ticket customer into a high ticket customer, which I don't care what anyone tells you is not as easy as it sounds. Because it's not like people just buy one thing and then go like, oh, hey, let me just grab the next thing that's the most expensive. You have to figure out how do you engineer that path. I've personally ran into issues with other clients where, we built a really, really cool low ticket product and then we got all these people on the phone and they were all like, hey, I have work to do for the next 6 months. I don't need to buy your next $5,000 thing. This $37 thing just gave me 6 months of work to do. So I'm gonna do that and I'll come back to you when I'm ready. And so that was a big issue that we had to solve with that funnel. And so when you're getting these low ticket customers, you have to be able to optimize what's happening at that low ticket funnel and then engineer and wow that person and follow up with that person for long enough that you can actually turn them into a high ticket customer. It can absolutely work, but it's just not a given. So moral of the story, I just find that there are a lot of moving pieces to these funnels that people need to consider that you have to optimize. And a lot of this is basically to not make that much money. So unless you have an audience in the millions and some huge organic following or a huge email list, if you're having to run ads, you can spend all this time optimizing these things and then you're not making any money on the front end. All the money comes from the back end sales. And I'll get into that here in just a second. So the point is that it's a lot of work. And when they work, they're amazing, but it's not all rainbows and sunshine. Now going into high ticket, when you do high ticket, you just skip all of that process. So you don't have to sell them something small and then send them up the ladder. You can absolutely just run ads or put it in your organic content, whatever, and sell people straight into a $1,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, $25,000 thing. You don't need to build another product. You don't need to build a funnel. You just go straight for your high ticket stuff. And this can be super effective. I've worked with clients where we've generated millions of dollars in sales. We had a simple landing page. The next page had a video sales letter on it. Then we drove people to an application. They booked a call with a sales team. They get on the phone and they buy stuff. And when I first started working online, I didn't understand how all this worked. I couldn't imagine that someone would click on an ad and then go spend $7,000 with this company, but it happens every single day. And because you're selling high ticket, now you have a lot of margin. So you have money you can spend on ads. You have money you can use to bring on a sales rep. 1 or 2 high ticket sales every month can pay for your copywriter. They can pay for your email team. They can pay for all the stuff that you need to fund a business. Now, the challenge I have inevitably seen over and over again with people who are running high ticket offers and just going straight to like a VSL or a book a call funnel or something like that is that over time, they become less and less effective. So there's this progression of like, as you enter a market with a new offer, you have these early adopters and people who are fast action takers. So they see your VSL, they jump on a phone, they buy stuff from you. But then over time, you're trying to reach a larger audience, which means you're spending more money on ads, which means your cost to acquire a customer is going up, which means you have to get more aggressive with your marketing so that you can generate the same level of growth. Also, what happens is competitors come into the market over time. So you're having to compete against more people who are making similar offers. And so what I've seen with these VSL funnels is they just get more and more expensive to operate over time. So a lot of times what we've been able to do is generate insane results over like 9 to 12 months, but then we always run into these ceilings where we just can't scale past a certain point. So the pros to going high ticket are you have a way simpler model with way less variables that you need to optimize. And you have a lot more margin that you can use to build the business along the way. So with all of that said, how do you decide what is right for you? For most founders, what you want to do is you want to build your value ladder backwards. So Joel Erway talked about this in his book, High Ticket Courses. He called it the Tesla model, but it's basically like you want to launch your high ticket offer first, and you want to get that up and converting, and you want to be generating really good margins with that offer alone. Then you can go in and build your mid ticket, and then you can go in and build low ticket offers on top of that. So you start with the most expensive and you work your way down. That's what I've seen work for most founders, because again, if your goal is to get to $10,000 a month or $30,000 a month, you can get there much faster selling a $3,000 or a $5,000 program than you can get there trying to sell $50 programs. The two exceptions that I've seen for this is when you either A, have a really big audience. I'm talking tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of email subscribers. I'm talking about millions of followers online. When you have a big audience, so you don't have to pay for the cost of ads, then you can drive a lot of revenue through low ticket and you already have the numbers to make it work. The second would be like really advanced marketers, people who have built these types of funnels before, because if you have the systems to optimize these funnels, having a low ticket offer in front of a high ticket offer is extremely effective. But again, the challenge is all the things that it takes to make it work and the really low margins that you have on low ticket. So again, if you have a big audience or you're a really advanced marketer, you have more money than time, then you can go ahead and step into the low ticket offer and use that to ascend people into a high ticket offer. But for most founders, if you're making less than 30K a month, the best thing for you is probably going to be start with your high ticket offer first and then work your way down. When you do that, you can get your business up and profitable very quickly. You can get to 30K a month and then you can start to pour those resources into the other stuff that you need in your business. So if you want to see how to build one of these high ticket funnels, I've actually got another video right here where I will break down everything that I've seen on how to build a 7-figure high ticket funnel. So check out this video right here and I'll show you exactly how to build that right now. See you over there.